Mr. Swoboda, thank you for accepting our invitation and for taking your time to discuss with us, according to our opinion, topical issues of Bulgarian political situation here. So, as I wrote in a letter, we have with my colleague Konstantin Pavlov, we have 3 questions for you, and we'll appreciate if you answer them. Let's start with the first one. How would you comment the crucial support of the anti-European and ultra-nationalistic party ATAKA and its leader Volen Sidorov for the government?
Well, for myself, I always had one principle, nothing having to do with this movement and these people. I am fighting and was fighting and will be fighting in Austria all the time against similar movement, even if they are not as strong in their positions as the movement ATAKA in Austria. And I hope that the way can be found in future that such a cooperation, even if it's on the parliamentary level, is no longer necessary.
Okay, then second one, are you aware of the initial spark, you finished, right? Okay. Are you aware of the initial spark of the protest, the reason behind the protest, 92 days of protest, the appointment of a notorious media mogul as the chief of the National Security Agency in Bulgaria, who was jointly proposed by the Bulgarian Socialist Party, the Movement for Rights and Freedoms. So what's your comment on this appointment, which and all the disturbing suggestions which it makes to the people who protest 92 days in a row?
Well, I immediately reacted and said it's not acceptable. I think it was a wrong decision, and I think it's overall accepted now, even by those who proposed him, that it was wrong, this decision or this proposal. De facto, sometimes wrong things have a good aftermath, an effect. De facto, it created or helped to create the protest movement, and it created the necessity to think about the basic structures in Bulgaria, to really reform the state, to reform the political culture and the political climate. And therefore I think the wrong decision at that time brought about movement and discussions which would in the end be very, very helpful for modernizing Bulgaria in a proper democratic sense.
I remember in your reply on my letter, open letter to you, you spoke also a little bit about lack of trust in political and social system in Bulgaria. Maybe just a few words?
Look, we have in all Europe, we have a lack of trust, but especially in Bulgaria, it is stronger than in some of the other countries because of the development of the past, 20 years. It's not only something for now. Now it's more known, people are more aware of it. But I think it was perhaps a mistake of all of us to think that the transition from a communist system into a modern, liberal economic and political system is an easy way. It is not, especially in countries like Bulgaria, who have a more agricultural structure, who have never realized a modernization process as such. So I think it's a long way, it's a hard way, but it's a very necessary way to go.
Okay, and the last question is about immunity, accountability and immunity of the members of parliament. I've read research on European levels. We have at least 3 of them were mentioned in that paperwork of European, maybe Commission or European Parliament, I'm not quite sure about it. So in Bulgaria it seems that we have the top level, untouchable level of deputy immunity, member of parliament's immunity. How could the law provide a degree of legal protection for the members of parliament so that democracy can function properly, but at the same time, what is the balance so that it will prevent the society from extreme abuses of immunity, such as carrying the gun in the parliament or threatening the citizens with a so-called civil arrest? This is done by the leader of the nationalistic party in Bulgaria. So how would you, as a leader of the socialists in the European Parliament, comment the proper level of this deputy immunity, member of parliament's immunity?
Look, immunity was necessary in times when there was a real danger that politicians, parliamentarians are prosecuted by authoritarian leaders, kings, and so on. And I think modernization and openness and opening of society means also that the immunity is reduced to a core. In my country, for example, in Austria, immunity is only existing for statements made in the parliament.
In the parliament.
Nothing else is immune. Whatever you do, if you do an accident outside, if you say something about a company or whatever outside, is not falling under the immunity. And I am for very strict, close interpretation what immunity means. People who speak in the parliament should not be taken to court because what they said in the parliament. But all the rest, I think, is not acceptable. And for me to have a gun in the parliament is a sign something is wrong.
Or to intrude, the TV stations demanding public time in front of the camera. That also a case in Bulgaria. And this is the real last point. You said, maybe you could say a few more words about it. You said that you have no indications about anti-democratic, illegal or secret financing of non-governmental organizations. So maybe you
I have no information how NGOs are financed. It's not up to me. If there's any, let's say, what is illegal financing? Illegal financing would be financing by, by selling drugs or whatever. I think that the police has to go into it. It doesn't make sense to make statements in the public, accusations in the public, which are not founded and which are not cannot be proven. I think any society, and especially the Bulgarian society, needs active NGOs. They may be affiliated to parties, may not be affiliated to parties, but I think these NGOs play an important role if they are part of the dialogue in the society, including also the government, but also with other parts of the society, with mayors and so on, to improve the quality of the Bulgarian society and create a new political culture.
Okay, thank you very much. Konstantin, you have some questions? No? Okay. Thank you for accepting our invitation and have a safe trip back to Austria or Brussels, Vienna. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.